This is a weekly STEP meeting. Our format is as follows. A speaker is asked to talk for 25 to 30 minutes on the STEP of that week, followed by discussion or questions until 7 p.m. You can find these weekly meetings on our YouTube page, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Doylestown. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and share. And that brings us to the speaker portion of the meeting on March 28th, 2022. In Doylestown, Pennsylvania, at the Monday night 6 p.m. Stay Alive Literature and Step Group at St. Paul's Lutheran Church. Tonight's speaker is Derrick, and he will be sharing his experience on Step 2. So please help me welcome Derrick.
Hi, I'm Derrick, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Derrick.
And I appreciate being invited to be here and spend time with you. I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been a member of Alcoholics Anonymous since 2016. My sober date is 2018, January 1st. So I've entered my 5th year of sobriety, and that's what I bring to you to share. I believe in Alcoholics Anonymous. It changed my life. The way that it changed my life has been profound. And to be invited here to share that with you, I'll gladly try and express myself. It's a beautiful church. I think it's a unique position I'm in because behind this backdrop is a sanctuary. Yet I'm halfway in it and halfway out of it. And I think that it's unique that one step this way would be a certain path, a path I know well. But I haven't walked that aisle in 7 years. But I know it well, and I know what's at the end of it. And it's cool to have it here behind me like that. This spot's fine because I'm gathered with you, and we have a purpose, and I can express that purpose. I wasn't born an alcoholic. I was born from Tom and Sylvia of Pennsylvania, Souderton. One time my mom summed it up simply. We fell in love and wanted to have kids. I'm the middle of that kid. I consider it a blessing to be born under that spiritual nature. My parents wouldn't describe it that way. Late 60s, early 70s, they were human, they were kind, gentle people, and still are. Spirituality was gleaned through nature, love, the family, but it was there. It wasn't as structured as some. I visited my parents yesterday. They're aging. Dad has cancer. I'm there for them, and they're there for me. It's never wavered and never been challenged. And that's another blessing that I bring a knowledge of unconditional love. It's a love that I was able to give to my daughter from her birth. So I know what love is, and I know how to give and receive it. But along the way, there was this most major distraction. I would say I came by alcoholism by natural means. As growing up progressed, I would do all things asked of me. Yes, I will go to school as asked. I will play the sports and enjoy them as asked. I will try to learn the things you're teaching me, academically and otherwise. And the pressure mounts. I will try and learn to socialize as a boy and a young man, and the pressure mounts. I will try and do everything expected to me. And it was an enjoyable childhood, but the pressure mounted. And then I found, finally, a way to manage the pressure. At around 15 or 16, I guess I needed some direction, and I was curious about what's going on over here. What's going on with these people? They seem to have freedom. They seem to do whatever they want whenever they want. And so I joined them. My first drink of alcohol was probably 16 years old with people that already knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to go under the influence of alcohol at the highest level possible, and whatever happens, happens. Don't get me wrong, the companionship we had was real. These were real friends. We cared about each other a lot. We wanted to be stimulated and excited, and we thought we had found the answer. but not without serious risk of personal injury, death, car crashes, the breakdown of mental illness, some people more than others. Not me, though. I kind of watch from the side and thinking, I wonder why they can't handle it. I later learned why I couldn't handle it. As it progressed, I thought, this could work in all areas. I'll do everything I'm supposed to do. I'll enjoy the things that I like to enjoy, and I'll have this ability to manage my feelings, physical, emotional, and otherwise. I'll just drink accordingly. Accordingly, for many people, as I learned, was a beer with dinner, perhaps getting ready for dinner, perhaps after dinner. Somehow I decided that I wanted to be under the influence at a much higher level. I now look back and wonder, where was I headed with that feeling? If 2 and 4 and 6 and so on, that's quite under the influence. I guess it was a feeling that I enjoyed while I enjoyed it. And then for a long time, well, for a relatively long time, I did 2 things in tandem. Guarded my ability to be under the influence selfishly, because I was going there without my family and without others. I thought I could do both, but then the consequences did begin. The consequences begin and ended with alcoholism. I'm not sure where I crossed over the line. It doesn't matter what amount, but it was too powerful for me. Okay, I'm going to get to step 1. Alcohol is too powerful to have in my life, whether I knew it or not. The consequences were divorced, arrested, and getting sick, and being introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous, of which I'm grateful. I would say the county courthouse did it. Is that over there? I can hardly see. I was judged appropriately unable. I was judged appropriately unable to be a safe member of society, and it was a blow. And I was ashamed. And I told my parents, and I told my brother and sister, and I told the people I had to tell. And he caught me a break. He said, "You can have a break. Go to a highway safety course." And that's where I learned to look at alcohol, the use of alcohol. My desire for sobriety was born. That could be, in my opinion, the first spiritual contact I had. I don't know where the desire came from. Perhaps you'd think it was from the hardship. I'm apt to think it was from a spiritual nature, because it hasn't wavered. I have a desire to be sober. But I had to do work that I didn't even know was upcoming. I had to become a member. And now I'm offered step 1. Admit that you cannot handle drinking in any form. It was a fine concept, but one I was coming up short on. How about I admit that I need to cut back a little and moderate? Certainly I don't want to give up this special thing, this special hiding place, this special feeling. Instead, amongst you all, I'll cut back. And in comes powerlessness. Unable to cut back not either the duration or the quantity of my alcohol. In fact, in light of that, it increased almost like a test. I started to fail the test in AA. I give great credit for AA for not removing me from the program. Remember, I don't know what you're asking of me exactly, and I don't know my place. I'll get your coin, but then I'll get the same coin a week later, and I'm like, well, I wonder what they think of that. The coins were meaningful to me. Even one day without alcohol was meaningful to me, and still is today, for example. Thank you, AA, for allowing me to experience powerlessness in the fellowship. But I did find people to tell me what to do, and I found this book. And the book was given to me in my 9th month by a gentleman who offered to show me his house and introduced me to his wife. Overwhelming to have someone. Why would someone do that? I don't want to be near you. I don't want to get ice cream with you. I'm not well. But you want to be what to me? Just enough. He called it temporary sponsor. I found that's a pretty good trick out there. You ain't going to sponsor me, you can temporary sponsor me. But he got the book in my hand, and I started to read and read and read. I said, what are you trying to tell me? My desire connected to literature and meetings. Always at meetings, many, many meetings. Whether I had a coin or not, always the meetings. My desire remains strong. And I started to learn what you would ask of me. Step 1. Abstain from alcohol, period. Whether you like it or not, whether you feel good or not. Okay, I'll withdraw from alcohol. I'll feel everything there is to feel coming into this new reality of sobriety. And I felt a lot. Felt a lot of fear, anxiousness, mentally, physically. But I was ready to change. So I committed. I committed to the program, and it committed to me. I'm so overwhelmed that this program committed to me and continues to commit to me. And I start to get sober. And I start to learn what's asked of me in sobriety. And I start to meet people and let them know a little more about me. And this is a very good group of people. I wasn't ready to receive daily texts, daily messages. Too much. You don't understand. I'm afraid. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not there. Gradually it's happened. Gradually over time it's happened, and I'm so thrilled that it has. I'm so curious what's next. I still relapsed, even with books, even with a sponsor, and even with steps. I had to know one last time after 8 months, surely I can do this one last time. Enter the powerlessness again, except worse. Worse feeling. Because I had already made a small covenant with people around me. I had already done a 3rd step prayer. Careful what you wish for. I had already done the prayer, and yet I turned. And my suffering was equal to that. But I didn't leave AA because they had seen it before. You had to know, didn't you? You had to know powerlessness one more time. Yes, I did. I'm not ashamed of it. I might call it necessary. But at that stage, I'm ready for step 2 because I did take to heart when it was told to me, at some point, nothing will work unless you reach further than you've reached before. You're going to go past the book, past the people, and you're going to go right to your heart, or what I would call the heart, the spirit. Other people might, there is an association that's interested me lately, the subconscious. We'll call it spirit for the purposes of AA and for my own privilege to do so. But I am also interested. I was exposed early on at home and in education about a subconscious conditioning that was unbreakable. It's under my waking thoughts. It was very powerful, and it needed to be broken. And I'll break it at that level. And they entered step 2, came to believe that a power greater than myself, my waking thoughts, my perception of life, there's something under it. Go under those perceptions, the need to drink, the fear. And so I said, okay, let's do that. I had witnessed it in the rooms. I had become inspired to hear more about it. I had walked the aisle for 10 years prior. Give me more. The desire actually increased. Amen. The desire increased, but I still had so much work to do. What is my part to match the desire? I have to put out effort too. I have to go towards it. So I remained in AA, always increasing my participation, my service, and mostly it became a function of prayer and seeking. And it's my greatest interest to this day. What are you trying to tell me when I read, when I look backwards? Please, what are you trying to tell me? The ambition remains, and so I pursue it. Is there power there? I believe there's great, great power there. It's flowing through me. I'm alive. It was given to me by virtue of my birth. However well I manage it, or don't manage it, or however overstimulating it was for me early on, I had to numb that down a bit. I'm overstimulated by life. I need sedation. I need calm. Now I welcome it in, and some nights I can hardly sleep because I'm tapped into something, and I'm curious. Why is the spirit increasing? Why does it have me so interested? But more and more work to be done. If I'm addressing step 2, at the time I'm addressing it, I'm still ill. So doubt that I may be able to continue. Doubt that the sincerity of the spirit. But I've grown into it because I'm in the group. If the group represents the spirit, I'm already in the group, so I stay close to Alcoholics Anonymous to do so. My return to sanity has occurred. Was I insane? At times I was. Alcohol's that powerful. I said it was too powerful for me. It was too powerful in all those ways. I was treated by doctors with good intentions. Wow, your symptoms are serious. Let's sedate you further. Now I have 2 things going on at once. I cannot discern my medical condition or my alcoholism. That's a dark road. Coming out of supervised prescription medication and alcohol at the same time, I wouldn't compare them. I recall levitating over my bed one night. I had left my body for some reason, trying to get this spell broken. Or that was my perception of it. Maybe I was levitating over my body. Maybe that was a chance for me to leave it behind, or maybe it was an incoherent withdrawal from things that were not for my nature any longer. That having been said, there's a place for medication, there's a place for doctors. But this is my place. I'm getting the results by being in this program. I'll continue for a few minutes. Sanity is returned. I don't drink now for into my 5th year. I know it's my beginners groups. My home group is a beginners group. And there's a joke that seems to pervade that we offer, has anyone considered drinking today? And when the room goes silent, the punchline is, you're all liars. However, it's a punchline meant to perhaps encourage people to share. I don't want to drink many, many days. That's not my punchline. It's been removed, contingent upon my efforts here, spiritually and otherwise. And I acknowledge that important fact. I'm so happy it's been removed. At this hour of the day, this very day, it's far from my mind. But I'll accept the contingency. I must do these things. I must be here tonight to do that. So when I see the beginners and I see the stage they're at, and I know the first and second step as I've described them may be occurring to them, I give them gentle encouragement that I received. This gets better. I don't have to define this. They have no idea what this is, nor did I. This gets easier. Everything that's asked of us gets easier. The fact that it's a spiritual program, they'll perceive, and they often do, by the group conscience. It doesn't have to be academically received. It can be received intuitively in the calmness of a meeting. Can you dig the meeting? It's never interrupted. I've never, short of minor occurrences, the meetings, the structure is almost perfect. It's a safe place. They'll intuitively feel safety, and they'll intuitively feel warmth. And we've got them cornered. And I'm there to feel it as well. So that's my hope about a first and a second step. Go ahead and suffer. Suffer your way right on into it. Challenge it all the way to the suffering, short of hopefully not personal injury or otherwise, unto death. Unto death would be alcoholism. They would tell you to stop drinking, your body is not functioning, you would go home that very day and continue. There's nothing that could stop it, except for the power that we reach for, and I continue to reach for. That would be my message at my home group, and my message tonight. Is anyone under the spell of it tonight? It can be broken. Let's break the spell. You're conditioned to feel that there's one way to live, there's another way to live. You can stop one life and start another. My hope for the future, as I've been promised, is it only increases in value and content. I said I couldn't sleep some nights. That's my experience in recent times. I'm filled with a spirit of well-being. If it gets any better, I'll just be running down the highway or running down the pathway here, maybe. Maybe I'm supposed to run that way. That's interesting. Maybe I'm supposed to run that way. I know what's down there. But for me, higher power is a good enough definition for us, as it is the power that I've achieved through those first two steps. And I encourage everyone to consider them daily. And the other steps as well. It was my pleasure to come speak about the first two. I love being here, and I love to hear what you would also share in these special areas. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much, Derrick.
You're welcome.
Please limit your sharing to 3 minutes. Keep your shares related to the step. If you feel like drinking, or if you've had a drink today, please see me or speak to someone after the meeting. We ask that you please refrain from the use of profanity. We are in a church and on a spiritual journey. And with that, I will open up the meeting. Whoever would like to share.